David, an American manager, was surprised by Kanako's reaction. Kanako was a team member from Japan. They had a meeting, and in that meeting, David basically wanted to recognize Kanako for an excellent job she did in a particular project the team had worked on. Now, what he did is very typical Anglo-Saxon. The roots can be found back to the employee of the month concept. You pull people out of the group context, you put them in front of everybody on a special stage, let's say, and you reward them publicly for the excellent work they did. But what happened here was that Kanako, instead of feeling recognized, felt very, very, very uncomfortable. So what was intended as something positive actually had a negative effect. Now, when you reflect on this case study, why do you think that Kanako acted this way? Why wasn't it nice to be singled out and to be praised in front of everybody? Because isn't that what we all want? If you dive a little bit deeper into the context of culture, then you will understand that Japan is a culture which is what we consider much more collectivistic, group-oriented than the US. At the same time, Japan is also much more achievement-focused and much more uncertainty-avoidant than the typical American employee. All of this combined, so more group orientation, more achievement focused, and more uncertainty, leads to a situation where people constantly question themselves. They don't really have a very positive self-image, and therefore to be called out in front of the group has a couple of impacts. First, it makes people doubt themselves. Was I really that special? Secondly, it puts them in a very uncomfortable group position because it disrupts the harmony. Because if it was a team effort, why not reward the team? And that was the particular case solution in this case that you have in front of you, that in more collectivist societies, the better way of giving feedback is to publicly praise the team and individually praise the individual. That way you have a combination effect of and motivating the team and motivating the individual. Another scenario could be that if you were to praise, for example, the average Scandinavian in front of the group, they will feel very uncomfortable because personal achievement, success, recognition is typically frowned upon in the Nordics. To stand out from the group, to think that you're better than the rest, has an adverse effect. Typically, people might be actually bullied for becoming the employee of the month. So what we're being taught in the average Anglo-Saxon-oriented MBA environment, which is to single people out and to praise them individually, in most cultures around the world, has an adverse effect on motivation. In other words, something positive becomes something negative. And the reason for this is cultural, because we often forget, because we're so busy, that what we say and how the what gets interpreted by the people that we are talking to has or is tremendously impacted by the time of the day, the context in which we speak. Is it an individual setting? Is it a group setting? Is it the time of the month? Is it the end of the quarter, the beginning of the quarter? All of this impacts how our message as a manager gets interpreted by the people that we give feedback to.